And good evening, Southeast Texas. Hope you're doing well. Looking at cloudy to mostly cloudy skies here in Beaumont, courtesy of Education First Federal Credit Union. And the very latest on Delta, it moved over the northeast tip of the Yucatan Peninsula, and it's about 60, 70 miles to the northwest of Merida along the Yucatan Peninsula northwest coast. And we are seeing deeper convection starting to try to wrap around the center once again. It's down to 85-mile-per-hour winds, but I expect this to continue to strengthen. The environment is very conducive to this strengthening, moving to the northwest at 17 miles an hour. Again, this track shows the yellow outlined area is tropical storm force winds. Look how small the hurricane force winds are. That's the good thing out of this. Yes, it will be bigger as it moves closer to our area, but is expected to continue on that northwest track right on through Thursday afternoon. Then, with high pressure off to the east into the eastern Gulf of Mexico, this will be the western flank that it begins turning to the north around that high. Notice the wind field gets bigger, but the hurricane force winds stay well off towards our east at this point. That turn is key to our forecast. If the turn occurs later, then we'll have more of an impact. If it turns faster, we'll have less of an impact. Regardless, we're very confident that this will turn to the north sometime and then to the north and east. The hurricane, or I should say the tropical storm force winds, are roughly 275 miles in diameter. That's 39 miles an hour up to 73. But notice the hurricane force winds stay well to our east, and this now goes in as a Cat 2 rather than a Cat 3. So it's going to hit fast and move out very quickly. Not going to stick around. We are not anticipating flooding rains in southeast Texas. And by, say, Saturday morning early, it's already moving past central Louisiana. Notice most of southeast Texas is out of the cone of uncertainty. Hurricane warnings, or I should say watches, in effect from High Island back over to Grand Isle, Louisiana. As far as our local area, tropical storm watches are in effect for Jasper, Newton counties, Hardin, Southern Liberty, and also Chambers County. And we do expect a pretty good possibility of seeing at least tropical storm force winds, mainly in through sections of Newton, Orange, and also into eastern Jefferson County. Obviously, the worst of the weather will be off towards our east at this point, based on this forecast track from the Hurricane Center. There's your hurricane watches in effect for southwest Louisiana, unfortunately, Jefferson and Orange counties. The possibility of hurricane force winds of 74 miles an hour or greater is very low, 10 to 15, maybe 20% into Orange and back over to Port Arthur. The best chance, obviously, off towards our east. Storm surge values of 2 to 4 feet along the coastline. Because this track has shifted on to the west, that's confined along the coastline. But because of the wave action, that will force water up into the marshes of Jefferson County and around Sabine Lake. This white area is the levee protection and seawall around Port Arthur. Obviously, higher values of inundation because of that storm surge will be off towards our east at this point. So low impacts there here in southeast Texas. Rainfall, it all depends on where the center goes. The clean size has less rainfall. 7 inches over 7 to 10 inches possible over towards Jennings. 1 to 3 inches in southeast Texas is what we're looking at. So Friday afternoon is probably when we'll see the worst of it. 1 to 3 inches at this point. Storm surge problems low, 1 to 3 feet of inundation past the coast in the coastal marshes of Jefferson and Orange counties. Tropical storm force wind gust of 50 miles an hour. I'm not going to go any higher than that at this point because we don't know exactly where it's going to go along the coastline. I think 50 is very reasonable. I think less wind speeds are going to be up towards the lakes area. But I think the best chance of seeing the strongest winds will be over into Orange and Jefferson County at this point. Futurecast is going to show partly to mostly cloudy skies coming up tonight as temperatures drop only into the lower 70s across the area. Then tomorrow, we're looking at about a 40 to 50% coverage of scattered showers and thunderstorms approaching the area ahead of the storm. As far as high-res modeling, this does show good consistency of it moving over into eastern portions of Cameron Parish coming up Friday afternoon and evening. On the Gulf of Mexico, looking at, a hurricane watch in effect with northeast winds at 15 to 20 knots. Just really rough out there, obviously. Partly cloudy, warmer and more humid tonight. Lows near 70 lakes. lower 70s. Triangle tomorrow, mid 80s with a 40 to 50% coverage. Extended forecast. Again, nothing is set in stone. Changes still possible until we know when that turn occurs. At this point, worst of the weather should be Friday afternoon with a big improvement this weekend.